Welcome to the second episode of Hot Ones. I got word that Benji thinks this video is going on his page. Forget that. Walkforfriendship.com. Go to search Basi Shem Tov and donate to my page if you're having fun watching Hot Ones.
That was perfect. I meant the walkforfriendship.com. Join us on the walkforfriendship.com.
They got that already.
Cut it or keep going?
No, they got it from a different video.
No,
Do it
what?
today.
But I said
Cut it.
Walk for Friendship. They get it.
Okay. Hi, my name is Benji Rosenzweig. I am here at the Soul Studio, part of the Friendship Circle, and I'm here with my friends Ryan Hertz and Howard Hertz, and we're going to do our second episode of Hot Ones. Ryan is, we've been friends for 15 years or so, and he is the CEO of Lighthouse, Michigan, a wonderful organization that helps fight homelessness here in Southeast Michigan, and Howard is a partner in Hertz, Schram, a law firm also here in Southeast Michigan. And we're going to get right into it. Let's start off with number one, which is the Sabra Supremely Spicy Hummus, not hummus, hummus.
Huh.
The supremely spicy part is just actually some schug that they put on top of it, and it's a classic Israeli spicy hot sauce. We've got some dipped on our plates. Gentlemen, grab a hot wing, and let's kick this off pleasantly. So I don't expect that burned either of you too bad. Schug is a classic Israeli dish, something I've eaten for most of my life, but it's tasty and delicious.
Very mild, very tasty.
It's a good start.
Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself? Howard, why don't you introduce yourself after that?
You just introduced us.
Yeah, do you want to say
All right, okay. I'm Ryan Hertz. I am the son of Howard Hertz, this handsome gentleman on my right.
I have a son.
You have two. Your turn.
That was quick. I'm Howard Hertz. My claim to fame is I'm Ryan Hertz's father, and I'm also an entertainment lawyer. Not so entertaining,
Right.
but an entertainment lawyer.
We'll be the judge of that. You guys have been around Friendship Circle, or familiar with Friendship Circle, or friends with me and other families that are involved with Friendship Circle. What programs have kind of drawn you in, drawn your attention, made you, pique interest and say, I want to know more about that or be interested in that?
Well, for me, I love what I call the village in the lower level of the building on Maple.
Right.
I've been there a couple times. I just think it's fantastic how the school kids come in that are needy of life skills and get to learn to do different activities and actually earn money and spend money. And I think it's a fantastic program.
Yeah. Practical applications in life skills. It's really wonderful.
Yep.
So I was introduced to Friendship Circle actually by a mutual friend of ours, Carrie Heller, who I believe you took me to see him play jazz at Baker's Keyboard Lounge.
I think you're right.
And I met Levi Shem Tov there. He actually was at Baker's Keyboard Lounge watching Carrie play. And I think Carrie set up a meeting with me and Levi because I was just getting started in nonprofit management. And so I came out to Friendship Circle. He gave me some ice cream and I was sold.
Yeah. Doesn't take much to sell you.
No, hot wings, ice cream, it's all easy.
All right. Sauce number 2, Trader Joe's Peri Peri sauce. I did a Facebook post about people's favorite hot sauces, and Peri Peri sauce was mentioned a number of times.
Really?
Trader Joe's is not a sponsor of this video, but if you'd like to be, holla at your boy. I haven't tried this before. This is my first time, so I'm pretty excited to see what we have here.
I love Trader Joe's, but I've never heard of or tried peri peri, and I'm a hot sauce
You're a hot sauce guy.
advocate. Okay.
This is new to me as well.
So you
Never had peri
You may
peri.
not know this, Benji, but we being Wendy and I, actually grow our own hot peppers, about 5 different varieties.
Really?
And then dry them, grind them, and blend them for use throughout the year.
Well, we're going to have a little taste test off camera for that.
Agreed.
Let's do this.
All right.
Okay.
Number 2, L'chaim.
Cheers.
That is delicious. Not that spicy.
No, but markedly hotter than the hummus. The hummus.
That is like the hummus, right?
Hummus.
That's like the mayonnaise of hot sauces, if you will. I mean, it's a little mayonnaise-y with the hot. It's
That was
delicious.
delicious. I like it.
Very tasty.
I'm going back for another.
Not too hot.
So you guys are both travelers. What is the best kosher meal you've had anywhere in the world?
Shabbos dinner at my house, man. My wife's a really good cook.
That is a safe answer, but this is not a safe show. So give me something that is not made by anybody that you're related to.
I'd have to say Toronto. There was one restaurant that we went to a couple times on Eglinton Road that was awesome.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of it. But it
Do you
was
remember the
Started
dish?
with an
really
M.
good.
Do you remember the
Started
dish?
with an M. No, I think we tried a variety of things, but I think it was probably a fish, maybe a whitefish or trout or something. It was,
Okay.
I too would say that my favorite, I think, meal out in a kosher restaurant was at that place in Toronto that starts with an M.
That magical. I've got cousins in Toronto. I'm going to come.
We're gonna figure it out. You
Starts
could
with an M.
put some CG, edit in some CG.
Right.
They're talking about.
Right. And if that restaurant would like to sponsor this video,
I actually have a
board.
different. I actually have a different one because I don't want to have the steal yours. I actually recall. I believe it's in Queens, a Georgian restaurant that is unbelievably delicious and tremendous. I also don't remember the name of it.
All right, we now are on sauce number 3. This is Ella Jolie's Truffle Habanero. In the last episode, we tried a truffle hot sauce. It was disappointingly not that hot, and so I figured let's try some different truffle hot sauce. And because Ryan and Howard are particularly fancy, I made sure that this was good truffle hot sauce.
when the restaurant Lully's used to be down on Woodward, that was a place we used to go to all the time back in the 60s and 70s, and one of the things that they were famous for was their steak with truffle sauce.
Extra fancy. Real truffles.
Yeah.
You ready?
Ready.
Number 3,
do it.
L'chaim.
Let's do this.
This is better than the other truffle sauce.
It's got a nice light flavor,
Yeah.
but it's not hot.
It's not, the other one was not hot at all. This has a little bit of a pleasant kick to it.
A little bit.
Mostly pleasant.
Mostly pleasant. Yeah, we're still in the first half of the
yeah,
game.
we're
here.
just
I mean,
getting,
the innings are just getting started. It's a long season.
That's right.
Ryan, you and I have been friends for 15 or so years, and one of the early kind of connections that we had was you played me some music that you had written, and I told you that it sounded like a band that I remembered my parents listening to when I was a kid called the Incredible String Band. And you said, I know the Incredible String Band. And I said, no, you don't. Nobody's heard of that. That's some weird random album that my dad used to listen to. And you were actually honored that I compared your music to them.
I'm honored again because I don't remember that. And it feels like a big honor again, all over. That's what happens when you forget stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's not easy to find Incredible String Band music on streaming services, but I have found it. And when I hear it now, I think of your music from back then.
Well, that is very flattering.
This is not a question for you, though. It's a question for
Oh.
Howard.
All right.
Tell me about your love for music and that folk genre, and introducing your kids to it. And aside from a professional setting in music, tell me about that. Instilling that into your children and just that love of music.
Well, for me, it started. It goes back to when I was probably 3 years old. I remember my mother always had a Victrola, or whatever it was called at the time, a turntable that she would listen to, and she was into show tunes. Mm-hmm. And I remember always listening to them and thinking, I liked them. But then, when I was 5, I got into Davy Crockett, the song Davy Crockett from the TV show.
King
Davy
of
Crockett.
the
Wild Frontier,
Wild
King of the
Frontier.
Wild Frontier. And I have a photo of myself, actually, with a coonskin cap and a fringe jacket and a rifle. And I would run around the neighborhood as Davy Crockett. But then, what really got me into music when I was 6 was the first time I heard Elvis.
Okay.
And I heard on the radio, I heard Elvis sing Hound Dog, and I was hooked.
It was
on the radio.
So your evolution in musical taste was show tunes, Davy Crockett theme song, Elvis. That is a logical progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not mocking. He's
No,
expounding.
I usually tell the
I
Elvis.
find that-
I usually don't go back quite
Right.
as far as the show tunes and then the Davy Crockett. But
As long as we're having,
Yeah.
having some truth serum here.
So then, from the time I was 6 till the time I was probably until I started law school, when I got too serious about focusing on my studies. So till I was 22 or 23. From 6 to 23, I probably knew the lyrics to every song on the top 10 at least, and thought that my voice was probably equal or better than Elvis.
Okay. You were wrong.
No, wait, you didn't
Back
know.
then,
You didn't know me then.
his voice
You
was
weren't
great
even
back then.
born.
You're right that you thought that.
Yes, there you go.
Now let's flip it back to you.
Well, wait. And then when my kids were born, before they were born, while they were still in the womb, there was always music in the house.
Mostly
Always,
Davy
always,
Crockett
always.
theme song, over and over.
Ryan, now same question to you. Like growing up around music, what was the music that you were like, oh, this is the early stuff that I think about, remember, and appreciate?
Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, I grew up, like my father said, I grew up listening to everything that he was into, but like I think earlier in his life. So we grew up listening to a ton of Beatles and Bob Dylan and Neil Young and sort of all the, classic rock, folk
All the good
heroes,
music.
all the good music. And then my father started listening to his clients, and I couldn't relate to any of that. So I get in the car with him, and he'd be blasting rap music, and I'd be like, "Put on Neil Young. What is this garbage?"
Which is the strangest
It was very
father-son
strange.
conversation.
Yeah, but
Reversal, flip.
yeah, it's
Or
still
the-
like that actually.
Or the other reversal would be both Ryan and Adam would say, "Dad, would you turn the music down?"
Yeah, also still happens. Yeah, but that's
often-
because of hearing loss.
What?
Yeah.
How often are you hanging out with Adam and somebody confuses you for hanging out with Seth Rogen?
It's been a while.
8 or 9 out of 10 times I'm with Adam. Somebody confuses him for Seth Rogen.
I remember it was for somebody's bachelor party, and we were canoeing on a river, and there was a group partying on the side of the river, and all of a sudden someone yells out, "There's Seth Rogen!" And they were all like yelling and waving, and definite resemblance.
Definite resemblance.
Adam Hertz, Seth Rogen, Yisrael Pinson. Very
Young
Very
Israel
similar.
Pinson.
Yeah,
Current
yeah.
Israel Pinson is a little grayer, and
True.
we're not going to mention that. All right, we are on sauce number 4. This is Tiger Sauce. We had rave reviews in our last episode of this, so I've got
really?
some setting up some high expectations for you guys
Okay.
here.
Well,
I'm excited.
Just getting warmed up here, because I wouldn't say any of it is hot.
We're
Warmed
we're
up,
in the-
I
we're
said
in
it.
the- We're in the third inning.
Original Tiger sauce.
Original Tiger Sauce.
All right.
Looks a little like a Thai sauce. I don't know if that's
It says marinade.
whatever.
I don't know, man.
All right,
Let's do this.
let's give it a go.
Cheers.
Love it. Flavorful, nice kick.
A little like a plum sauce almost that you would have on an egg roll.
Yeah, but more kick than
More kick. Not much more, but more.
We talked about some of your clients, Howard. Has there been a moment when you were sitting in a room, looking around, going, I cannot believe that I'm hanging out with these people, client or not?
I don't know that. Yeah, there are a few instances, I'm sure.
I can think of several.
But I can think of, you can? Okay, good, you'll get a chance to answer.
A few of them have been
For me.
documented very well.
But one, I thought it was a funny story. They were throwing a surprise birthday party for Eminem at St. Andrew's Hall that Wendy and I went to. Mm-hmm. And on the way down, Wendy was saying, you know, we're going to be the oldest people there, don't you? And I said, so what?
Right.
She said, yeah, but we're going to be the oldest people there. I said, doesn't matter. That's a badge of honor. So we get there, and a bunch of people, and a lot of people that I knew, a lot of people I didn't know, but it was all the hip-hop crowd from Detroit. And all of a sudden, Bob Ritchie, Kid Rock, walks in. And, you know, he comes up to me, gives me a big hug. How's it going, Howard? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, great. And I said, I don't think you've met my wife, Wendy, yet. I said, you know, Wendy, this is Bob. And he reaches out and takes her hand. Give me your hand.
I'm scared.
And goes, well, hello, Mrs. Hertz. It's so wonderful to meet you. An exact replica of Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver. I mean, exact. And Wendy turns to me and said, see, I told you we were old.
Kid Rock's not young.
Apparently Kid Rock was starstruck when he met Wendy.
So I was going to talk about how you're on the DVD, hanging out backstage on the Up in Smoke Tour DVD with, I don't know who's on that. Snoop.
Eminem. Well, it was Eminem
Dr.
and
Dre.
his group that were in that particular scene that I was in.
He's just casually like walking around in the background drinking a beer. It's very strange.
No, we were actually kibitzing with each other for about 10 seconds, Marshall and I.
I think there's multiple scenes
on the DVD.
I'm trying to think. My answer to that is actually strangely, I think, more related to Adam. So my brother's also in the music business, or has been in the music business. And when McCoy Tyner came in for the Detroit Jazz Fest, and we had him over with
For barbecue.
with his quartet for a barbecue at our house. That was pretty special.
That was.
Did you ever find yourself in a situation where you're...
Well, and also, I don't remember how this even happened. I think a friend of yours got us tickets, but we ended up getting to meet Neil Young after his solo show at the Fox?
Fox, yeah.
I think it was an after-party charity event or something that he was holding for, what was the name of the school? Bridge School?
The Bridge School.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really nice.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I cannot say that I've had the pleasure of meeting Neil Young,
Yeah.
but he's
I've
he's
met
one of
him
my favorites.
3 times.
Really? Is he as ornery as he appears to be?
The first 2 times he was, I think he was fairly ornery. And then the 3rd time, though, he had just won a Grammy. I was at the Grammys, and it was during a break, a commercial break, and I was heading up to the bathroom. And Neil Young standing up there talking intimately with someone, but I wanted to say hello. I had met him twice. I knew he wouldn't remember me, but he'd remember the instances
Right.
when I told him what they were. So I thought I'd introduce myself. So I waited, I stood back, waited till there was a little lull in the conversation, went up, shook his hand. He was friendly, looked me in the eye, talked to me. I said, we have a lot in common. First, we've met a couple times, but we're both from a town in North Ontario. As a
Right.
matter of fact, I went to a summer camp, a Hebrew summer camp in the town that he was living in.
Right.
Not at the same time, but, or maybe he was, I'm not sure, that where he came from, when he sings, there's a town in North Ontario, right? So I tell him this, and I say, congrats, he had just won a Grammy that night. I say, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And I step back, and I thought it was perfect. He was nice, no problems. A friend of mine, a lawyer out of L.A., comes up to me and said, boy, were you rude. I said, what do you mean I was rude? I waited, I was polite, I stood back, I came in, he was friendly, I didn't do anything rude. He said, you totally ignored Elvis Costello, who he was talking
I'm going to regret saying this, but I would have also ignored Elvis Costello.
I didn't recognize him.
That's pretty special.
So this is sauce number 5. This is Queen Majesty Scotch bonnet and ginger hot sauce.
Oh, Jamaican.
So this is a special sauce. It's one of my favorite hot sauces because it was actually a gift from you on Purim with the Mishloach Manot, and I've got a package of all their different flavors coming for the next episode.
Is this from Jamaica? Or is it?
No, I think it's from Brooklyn.
Scotch bonnet is traditionally a Jamaican hot sauce.
Well, that's where the pepper's from, I think. But
Yeah, I'm just
That-
saying it might. I don't know.
that company makes multiple kinds of hot sauce,
Right, and it says made in New York.
and I
so-
discovered it through the Rebbe's Choice
so maybe
Herring.
Jamaica, New York.
I was going
My
to say
point,
Jamaica
exactly.
Queens. So yeah, so the Rebbe's Choice sent or you sent it to me
Okay.
with the Rebbe's Choice, and I told those guys that they did a great job. So
This
This
is
is
one of my
a- this is a
favorite hot
wonderful
sauces,
sauce.
actually.
As a matter of fact, we bought some Scotch bonnet spices the last time we came back from Jamaica because it was so good.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Got a nice kick to it.
Nice flavor, Joe.
On the hot ones, and we didn't rip them off. They just did 150 episodes of what we're doing before we did it.
It's a weird coincidence.
Minor details. So they have a shtick called "Explain That Gram," where they pull pictures from your Instagram and ask you for more context
Oh, boy.
on what it is. So
All right.
let's start with Ryan, and we'll show
Oh,
this to
yeah.
everybody. But
Oh.
can you give us some more context on you wearing a shark suit next to a smiling dude?
Well, do you know who that is?
I do know who that is. I'll let you explain that.
That is one of my father's first music law clients. That's Joel Martin, or Joel Backow, who I'm trying to recall when you first started. Well, I wouldn't recall this, so I guess you could answer this part, how you started working with him. But he's the owner of 54 Sound, in
Yep.
Ferndale, where a large number of well-known hip-hop albums have been recorded, including, I think, the Slim Shady LP.
First 4 Eminem albums, I believe.
Okay. And that's me and Joel at a Purim party at the Chabad of Greater Downtown Detroit. I'm dressed as a shark. Joel came as himself. And we're having a wonderful evening together,
Some people think he's a shark.
Was that
being a couple Jews having a party.
right, was that a daddy shark or a baby shark? Or,
I don't know. It was a hammerhead.
that's
Hammerhead.
That
That's
was a
daddy,
hammerhead.
I think.
That was one of my favorite Purim parties of all time, and having Joel kind of make his way in there in the middle of the festivities certainly took it up to a whole other level.
Right. So
the-
Joel, my very first entertainment client was Ted Strunk, who's still a very close friend of mine, and he had just been offered a music publishing contract. I was still at the public defender office at the time, handling murder, armed robbery, various
stuff.
cases. And the publisher that was offering him the contract, I negotiated the deal with. And then one night I was at Ted's gig, my first music client's gig. I thought that was pretty cool. And this young kid walks up to me and introduces himself as Joel Martin.
Right.
And he was only 18. I was 26, I think, at the time, or 27 maybe. And it turned out he, at 18, was a music publisher, and it just started in the business and signed my client. And then eventually he hired me as his lawyer and got me involved with the Romantics and George Clinton and Eminem and other well-known artists.
So you asked a question about times where you found yourself in a situation, and maybe as a result of being related to Howard, my father here, where you're at, I can't believe this is going on. So one of them was actually that Joel's studio, 54 Sound, has an annual holiday party at Luxury Lanes, I think it's called, in Ferndale. And so bowling with all of these musicians who are connected to his studio is definitely an interesting experience. And you can edit this part out if you want, but one time we were bowling and we were just kind of stuck on a team, and I think it was Tino Gross, myself, you, and an interesting gentleman I'd never met before wearing suspenders who looked a little overdressed for the whole situation. And when he went to bowl, I said, "Who is this guy?" And he goes, "Oh, that's George Clinton's drug dealer." Yeah, so that's up there in my weird experiences.
George Clinton's drug dealer. Well,
Yeah.
I did not remember that, but now I do.
All right, well, that was a good experience.
And I knew his name. It'll come to me, but I don't think I should say it.
Probably not.
probably not. Next, explain that, Graham. This is for the both of you. This looks like a fun one that I'd like to get more information on.
It's the two of us playing guitar, probably singing too.
Was that at a party or?
Looks like it was at your house.
I think, is this what the, no. Did we do this somewhere at a gig? I don't know. It's quite a while ago. Ryan was a high schooler, I guess. Early high school, probably.
Yeah.
And we were both playing guitar and singing, having fun.
I'm going to get one for you, Howard.
Oh, here's another one. Oh, boy.
That's your buddy.
Yeah, this is, actually, this was during COVID.
Okay.
Wendy and I ended up spending the month of February 2020, which was just as it was leaking out of China, hadn't made it to the US yet.
Right.
We were in Southeast Asia for the month of February. And this is a picture of me and my elephant friend at the Elephant Nature Park that we stayed at for a few days. And we got to get, as you'll see from the picture, up close and personal with the elephants, feed them, hug them.
This is, I think, the first case of elephant COVID, thanks to my father.
Right. Right. Is it the elephants are that color, or it's the camera that made them look that color? Because they're usually like grayish, and these are more orangey.
Elephants like to roll in the mud.
So
And that's the color of the mud.
That's the red rock.
And they get that, and then they go and go into the river or pond or whatever and wash each other and wash off
do
and the whole thing and get clean, and then they roll in the mud again.
Right. Speaking of Seth Rogen.
Oh, that's a really tremendous moment. It's my brother cannibalizing me.
And that's all we're going to say about that?
Appetizers at the restaurant. I don't know. That's all I got.
All right, that's fair. One more that I pulled out.
Oh, let's skip this one.
That's good. Okay. All right. Sauce number 6, bone sucking sauce. This is hiccuping hot habanero. Another one that we really enjoyed in the last episode. So
Love a good hiccup.
I think that you guys will enjoy this.
I like habanero.
All right.
Here we go.
So we're going into the second half now.
Second half.
Okay.
I gotta say, the end of the first half, we're starting to definitely What's
We're-
the term?
we're in the air.
Increase.
Ascend.
Ascend.
We're in the air.
I'm ready.
We're not in outer space yet.
No. Okay. Here we go.
So this is like a barbecue sauce. You would think of as spicy
It starts off like a barbecue sauce, and then in the back, you're like, oh, there's some spice there. But most of their sauces are barbecue sauces. This is their variation of a hot sauce.
Very tasty.
That's great.
It's delicious. I think that we should have had this before the Scotch bonnet. In the grand scheme of things, it's not as hot as the Scotch bonnet, but that's okay.
That's pretty close.
That's good.
Very tasty.
So Ryan, we're going to go and throw back to a conversation that we had years and years ago that you probably won't remember, but left an impression on me.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So we were talking about meditation, and I was in awe of one of your trips that you had taken to Sedona or somewhere and spent 3 days on a rock meditating or something. And I said, man, I suck at meditating. I can't get more than a couple of minutes. And you said that the big misnomer of meditation is that somebody can go and spend 3 days meditating, and really what the idea is that you go there and you spend all that time getting prepared to meditate, so that if you can actually get 3 minutes of good outside of your head meditation, that's a win. Do you recall that conversation at all?
I recall conversations like that. It's definitely a topic I think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you see that sort of experience, knowledge, skill, and the ability to do that married with your Jewish life? Where do those two really connect and overlap and really marry each other? Complement each other is probably a better word.
Intersect.
Intersect. Perfect.
It's good.
Intertwine.
That was good. That's a pretty interesting question. I think of those two things as related, but maybe not as obviously. I think when people think about meditation, they think about a spiritual activity often, and I don't know that it's always necessarily the case. I think meditation is more the discipline of sort of watching your own mind from some degree of objectivity from it, right? So to get a little bit of a clearer sense of who you are, what you are, by instead of spending the time that you normally spend being your thoughts, sort of trying to dispassionately observe your thoughts in order to get a sense of perspective that can, I think, shape a person's spiritual development, but isn't inherently related to it. And so how those things relate to each other now, that's a good question. I guess to your original question that you had asked me whenever this was, I think that the reason why that's the case of you spend a lot of time, and it can be, I think you're referring to a specific situation that wasn't actually necessarily focused around meditation, but there's, I participated in monastic retreats where you're essentially meditating, either sitting meditation, walking meditation, or eating meditation, besides a few hours of sleep every night for 9 days, or for whatever period. In my case, it was 9 days. And during that period of time, very small moments of it are you actually able to successfully sustain a level of an objective, to the degree that can exist, sort of dispassionate observation of your thinking, as opposed to being in the thoughts. I mean, my leg's asleep. When's the bell gonna ring, so I can get up? I'm hungry. Instead of being that, to actually have those moments where you're just watching that happen is not the whole time.
Right.
And so I think in order to do that successfully, you have to spend probably more time than is comfortable to get those moments to happen more consistently. But in relation to my Jewish faith, I think the theology that I feel really connected to I think comes from the place of how, like, what do you attribute to, like, once you're able to sort of disconnect the notion of a self and you realize that you're just essentially observing phenomena, what is that dance that's happening, and does it have a soul, or is it completely without one? And I think that that's maybe a big part of the difference of different parts of our world's theologies, that what is that, what's the character of it, right? And for me, over time, it's grown to where I feel the character of it is a loving and compassionate being, as opposed to sort of a big emptiness. And so, neither of which, I suppose, is provably true or false. But I would say that where my faith comes from today is from a place of warmth and relationship to the mystery versus a coldness.
That's a spectacular answer, and I'm looking forward to people watching this video.
I don't know what you put in this bone-sucking sauce, man, but I don't know. That just
Howard,
came
do you have
out.
any thoughts on what Ryan just said?
No.
Okay, let's go to the next one. So we are now on hot sauce number 7, Yucatan Sunshine Habanero Pepper. So this is a Mexican-style sauce.
All right.
This is from the Yucatan.
No,
The style is Yucatan, but the
from New
company
Orleans.
is actually in New Orleans.
What's the name of the company?
Try me.
Try Me?
Yeah. Who are not a sponsor, but if you'd like to, I'll let you go. All right,
Here we go.
number 7. L'chaim.
Chaim.
Tasty.
Delicious, but I got a question for you. I did a little background digging on Google, and I saw that, Howard, you graduated from Wayne State in 72, and from law school at Wayne State in 76.
Yes.
That world is very different today, Midtown, Wayne State area. When you go downtown, what are you thinking when you're driving down there, just seeing the difference in the city?
Well, it's interesting because the downtown, let's back away for a minute at least from Cass Corridor, but downtown, when I first started going there, was actually very lively. I mean, I remember as a kid going to Hudson's and Kresge's across the street with my parents, and it was very active, very busy, especially on a Saturday. It was packed. And you didn't think of it as being run down or empty. And then it was really, and then after the public defender office in the mid-70s, I had my own law office for a year in 1978 to 79, and it was still very active downtown. It was just after that it started to really get run down. It seemed like every other store was either a shoe store or a wig shop. There was no variety. Hudson's was being knocked down. It was empty for a long time, being knocked down. I love seeing now how it's come back. It's just totally different. It's new stores popping up all the time. Hotels, restaurants. We even have a beach in the park.
Yeah.
It's great. And then going to Midtown or the Cass Corridor, I lived right on Willis and 3rd, across the street from the Willis Show Bar. And to see now, great restaurants, Selden Standard right near there, one of my favorites. Willis Show Bar, they fixed it up. It's a great place to go listen to music. I just love the new atmosphere of both Midtown and downtown. It's great.
any particular, other than Willis and Selden Standards, any particular retail shops, restaurants, any bars or anything that you are particularly fond of?
Vicente's, the Cuban restaurant
Yeah.
on Library Street,
Sure.
right behind where the Hudson's building is rising from the ashes. It's a great restaurant. We love going to Selden Standard. Love going to what's the jazz club? Cliff Bell's.
Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah.
Just a lot of places. I used to go to the Majesty complex all the time. I don't know if I'll end up back there or not. We'll see what happens after COVID.
Right. Same question, Ryan?
Oh, it definitely looks very different.
Yeah.
And every time I'm in the city, in all parts of the city, it's just drastically and dramatically changing fast. And it's in some ways very encouraging. And then in other ways, when you kind of see the state of a lot of the neighborhoods and being somebody who works in poverty alleviation, it's what hits my radar most in situations where lower income communities are changing rapidly is what's happening to the people who were living there when prior, and is the way that the community is changing empowering them to have some greater quality of life or not? And I think that the answer to whether that's the case or not has to do with how deliberate community development efforts are, and whether the community's organized in such a way that they can respond. And I think that varies widely across the city, but it is encouraging to see the economic redevelopment for sure. I look at the community that we work in Pontiac, and I see like the early stages of a lot of what I watched happen in Detroit since graduating, starting to happen there, and I'm really excited about that. And a lot of my focus is around working with other organizations in the community to make sure that as that economic turnaround happens, that the residents are empowered as a part of that.
All right, we are on sauce number 8. This is Melinda's creamy style habanero hot sauce, and this is the good stuff. This is where the proverbial rubber meets the actual road.
Oh.
Okay.
Melinda. It's a habanero wing sauce and condiment.
And condiment.
All right, here we go.
Hey, here we go.
Time. You all right?
Not
Yeah.
as flavorful as some of them.
I actually feel the creaminess. Like it's not as loose of a sauce as some of the other ones, and I like that. It's
There it is.
a little mayo. Yeah,
Here it
it's in the
comes.
back of the throat, right at the end. Like you have to like swallow the chicken, and then all of a sudden the sauce says, "Here I am."
Yeah, for a minute there, I was like, did I dip in the wrong one?
Right.
But now I'm really feeling it.
Yeah. Very
So-
nice. Very nice.
Ryan, we've spent a lot of time laughing about various subjects,
This is true.
and I would consider you a connoisseur of Seinfeld and Larry David quotes.
Wow.
It's high regard.
Okay.
So, what is something like this moment in Seinfeld or this moment in Curb is just life-changing funny?
Yeah, this is tough. So for me, the more painfully awkward, the better, right? So like, the more you just are crawling out of your skin, that's how you know it's a good moment in Larry David universe. So I don't know. I think any time that he decides to call someone out on something totally unnecessarily, and it's just so socially uncomfortable. I think there was an episode where he's standing in line, and somebody recognized somebody standing in front of him in line and goes up and goes, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's so good to see you, blah, blah, blah." And then I think they're waiting in line at a buffet, and then grabs a plate and he goes, "I knew they were going to do the chat and cut,
The chat and cut.
Yeah, and then he actually interrupts them going to get their food and goes, "Nice try with the chat and cut." I think you really you were flawless. If I didn't know what you were trying to do, you would have definitely pulled it off, right? And he just uncomfortably tries to get this person to actually get out of line. I don't remember exactly how it concludes, but there's 100,000 examples of this.
There are so many. I love Seinfeld, the whole series, but I think that Curb takes it to another level because he's so obnoxious.
Right.
Because you think, could someone really be like that? And I think he is like that. I think that's the beauty of it.
I love
but
that.
I remember, it just pops in my mind, and I don't even remember the whole context. But it's the, do you respect wood? Where, he puts a glass down on a wooden table and I guess maybe leaves a stain, and I respect wood.
Right. I love that you called him obnoxious, and then I said he's so relatable, and then you said, does anybody really act like that? My favorite Larry David moment of anything that he wrote or did ever, and something that I find very, very relatable, was when he said, F you, and I'll see you tomorrow. It's like, yep, I know that feeling. Are there other comedians that you would put in that
Nothing that comes to mind right now, but
All right, well then you got to ask the
Probably
classic.
will.
Jackie Mason just passed away.
Jackie Mason,
we
yeah.
should,
92 years old, I think, or 89, something like that.
I just read that he once was beat up, maybe even to the point of hospitalization, by a gang of gentlemen that Frank Sinatra, I think, sicked on him.
What?
Because he was making fun of Frank Sinatra marrying a woman 30 years younger than him
Wow.
in one of his stand-up acts, and he threatened him and told him he had to stop, and he didn't. So he had these guys beat him up, and the next time he was on stage after he healed up, he said, "I want to thank Frank Sinatra for saving my life," by saying, "All right, that's enough, guys."
I remember hearing Jackie Mason say 80% of men cheat in America. The other 20% cheat in Europe. So he didn't say cheating on what?
On their exams.
On their exam. All right, we are in the home stretch. Melindas, not TripleX, Quadruple-X Reserve Habanero pepper sauce. This is supposed to be good. I have not tried this yet.
Reserve.
It's reserve. Oh yeah, this is only for the special people.
That's a real deal.
That is good.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
This is a little segment that we like to call, it sounds Yiddish, but it isn't. I'm gonna
That's the name of the segment?
I made it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a couple of words at you that sound Yiddish, but they're not Yiddish. But I'd like you to tell me what you think it would mean if it was Yiddish.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start first. Far-fetched.
It's the past tense of verklempt.
Okay. Sheboygan.
It's when you're in a bouncy kind of mood.
Schnauzer.
It's what you say when you stub your toe.
Shih Tzu.
That's what you say when you stub your other toe.
Beatnik.
Your annoying cousin.
Kind of like a schlemiel.
Like a schlemiel.
Yeah.
Arugula.
It's a pastry.
I thought you were saying it's a little rugal. Kerfuffle.
It's a
Sorry.
species of. It's like a furry elephant.
A kerfuffle.
Sure.
Mr. Kerfuffleuffle.
Yes.
Exactly.
Gimmick.
Gimmick?
Yeah.
Gimmick sounds Yiddish to you?
Depends if it's Hungarian Yiddish or Polish Yiddish.
Okay, all right.
Russian Yiddish.
It's right around $50.
Perplexed.
That's the future tense of verklempt.
That's the future tense of it. Spatula.
Spatula?
Yeah.
It's when you had a little too much sun.
Ganache.
That's when you're hungry and you want to eat a little bit extra. You ganache on it.
You ganache. Oh, perfect. And the last one is pestle.
It's about $20.
It's about $20. Perfect. All right.
So before we get to the last one, in case you don't ask the question,
Yes.
it would have been appropriate for you to ask us what was our hottest meal we ever had.
Spiciest kosher meal is on the list. I skipped it.
All right, but
What's
spiciest
the
meal.
spiciest meal you've ever had?
So I've always prided myself on liking spicy food, and especially extra spicy Chinese food.
Okay.
I love Chinese food, and I love it extra spicy. So in 1977, Wendy and I were in Thailand, and I wasn't used to Thai food at the time. I don't even know if it was around much. And I figured Chinese food, Thai food, I'll have mine extra spicy.
Oh boy.
And it was, I had one bite, I believe, and I was done. I mean, it was so hot. It was incredible. And I tried drinking water, that didn't do it. I tried
No.
eating bread, that didn't do it. It just lingered for like 2 hours.
So I have a friend who I was telling about this little experiment, and he said that he was at a kosher Thai restaurant in New York. I don't know the name of it, but it's a Thai restaurant that's not like Jewish guys making Thai food. It's Thai guys making Thai food who brought in a Jew to be the mashgiach and certify it.
Right.
And so he went and he said, they said, how hot would you like it from 1 to 10? And he said 6. And they said, okay, we'll give you a 4. And he said, no, I can handle a 6. And they said, we'll give you a 4. And he goes, guys, I'm an adult. I can handle this. And they said, I'll tell you what. We'll give you a 4, and we'll give you the 6 sauce on the side. And if you'd like it, you're more than welcome to try it. So I said, how'd it go? He goes, the 4 was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. I didn't even touch the 6.
That's right.
It was,
Well, I know when I said extra spicy, they were laughing at me.
Yeah.
They went to the kitchen, I'm sure, and said, "This guy thinks he can handle it."
Yeah.
And it was
well, I don't think
crazy.
I don't think we're in that territory. Hopefully we're in 4
Well,
territory.
this could. We'll see here.
So,
we'll see.
This is Melinda's ghost pepper wing sauce and condiment. We're also not sponsored by Melinda.
This is the third one that she's made.
She's done a great job. We're not sponsored by Melinda, but
Yeah.
if she'd think about sponsoring it, I'll at you, boy. I'm going to do this.
All right.
You have to actually dab
Okay.
a little.
A little dab will do you. Grilled cream.
Everyone ready for this?
Fine.
But I am.
While you're digesting that, wipe your hands real quick. Little known fact about Ryan Hertz. He's a magician. I'd like to ask Ryan to do a little magic trick for us. While he's setting that up, a known fact about Howard is that he's a musician.
I'll play a little magic music.
A little magic music.
All right. I'm going to need to borrow a $5 bill. Do you have a $5 bill?
I do have a $5 bill.
All right. We're going to take the $5 bill, nice and crisp. We did not plan this in advance. All right.
Wait. Who's that picture on it?
I don't know.
Some guy with a beard.
Yeah, some old man. I don't know. All right. So remember the last 2 digits of the serial number there, or whatever it is.
The numbers, not the letter.
Yeah, the numbers. Okay, we're going to
Got
just to
it.
make sure it's the same one later, okay? Everyone watching very closely.
Want us to show the camera?
Tell me, does this look fair? Tell me this looks fair. Ready?
So far.
Okay. I don't remember the rest of the trick. Your turn. We're gonna put
And I
it
don't
in
remember
here.
the rest of the song.
Save it for later. Huh? Huh? Thank
That was
you.
good.
Thank you very much. All right, your turn.
Come on, you can do a magic trick.
All right, let's try again.
That was my last $5.
These cards shuffle. That's the last. I haven't seen paper money in like 15 years. That was. I feel bad. That was like an antique.
I'm glad I didn't give you a 50.
All right, pick a card. Any card. That was not the correct card, but we'll do with that one. Okay. All right, say stop.
Stop.
All right, put it back in the deck. Very good. Okay, do you remember the card?
Yes.
Did you show it to the camera?
I did.
All right, so the camera knows the card. All right, here we go. We're gonna zip the card through the other cards with some magic stuff. And we're going to do a little riffle. And what's a Yiddish term for
Rapple,
a rapple?
a ripple, and a rapple.
And we're going to
It's a raffle.
bring it the card, the 2 of clubs, to the top of the deck. Your card.
It was not
Thank
the
you.
card.
All right, this isn't going well. I've got.
You got $10 now. You get two $5 bills.
This was not a good question.
There's no such thing as bad questions.
All right.
Only bad responses.
All right, come on.
All right, what was your card?
3 of spades.
Hey! Hey! Ah! Ah! All right, your turn.
Okay.
Okay.
You got an Elvis song for us? Or David Crockett?
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier,
I'll take that.
born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, freest land in the land of the free.
Little
Did
Trumpy, but
something or another, da-da-da-da-da, and killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
that was
spectacular.
fantastic.
That's 11 up and 11 down.
Wait. I want to see the.
I got to practice this for a while.
I want you to bing, put those back together.
I don't think it's gonna work. But it is the same number from.
It is the same one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Benji.
Don't worry about it. I'll,
Scotch
you
tape.
can Venmo me later.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you guys for coming. It's been a pleasure having you. I appreciate you guys tremendously. Is there anything that you guys would like to say to the people who are watching this video who may not know about the Friendship Circle or about any of the Friendship Circle programs that would be a good thing for them to know and why they should donate?
Well, they should know that the walk for Friendship Circle is back on this year after a year off for COVID, and that I'm not sure September 1st or when it's usually
Sunday,
around then.
August 29th.
August 29th,
Yeah.
That's pretty close. And donating helps a lot of people that are in need of help in the community.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Look, the Friendship Circle and all of its associated programs are a beautiful passion of many, many people, many volunteers, many donors, and especially the Shemtov family, guided by their mentor, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, to reach out and help every single soul from, in any condition in this world, to live a better life and to have connection and social connection, and it's a beautiful thing. And I know that it's in many ways touched my friend Benji's family, and I'm proud to support such an organization. In fact, I'm going to pledge $5 right now on this video your first $5, I think. Is that correct? That you've raised so far?
We've started raising, but every dollar counts.
All right. And no, but in all seriousness, please join
That
me.
was his money, you know.
Why? And so, congratulations on your generosity, Benji, donating this $5 to the Friendship Circle. And I invite everyone to join in and make a contribution.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you,
This was
Howard.
great. And next time, some sauce that has some heat to it.
Do